Hello my friends and welcome back to another Brotato Danger 5 New Dawn run. Hope you're all doing well. Today we're going to be checking out the brand new weapon, the Vorpal sword. This weapon I think is awesome. It has a chance to one-shot enemies when hitting it, and it was bugged up until today, so it didn't actually unlock when you unlocked it, so today we get to actually check it out. It's also a starting weapon for the Knight or the King, which is great because we can try it out right away. I decided to go with the Knight here because the Knight only finds level 2 or higher weapons, so we're more likely to find more Vorpal swords and be able to make use of them. Let's take a look at this weapon as well. So it has 20 base damage and 100% melee damage scaling, which is 5 less than the sword. In terms of base damage, but it also attacks faster. Sword has 1.28 second cooldown, Vorpal sword has 1.11, which I think is a trade you would usually make, slightly lower base damage for faster base attack speed on this type of weapon. And then on top of that, it also has the chance of one-shotting the enemy. So I think these are very similar weapons in terms of power level, but Vorpal sword may have a slight edge over the normal sword. But of course, we're going to see how it works in practice. With the Blade and Medieval weapon tags, it's really nice for the Knight. We're going to get the armor from the Medieval weapon tag, and the lifesteal and melee damage from Blade, which is still pretty useful for this character. As the Knight, you don't need to roll for harvesting because the Knight has 80% reduced harvesting modifications. We also get lower attack speed bonuses, which does run slightly counter to the Vorpal sword, but I think that that's okay. This weapon is going to be really powerful, even if you ignore the chance to one-shot, and then when we do maybe one-shot an elite, that would be really awesome. So we're going to go ahead and lock the Vorpal sword. I'm immediately going to ban this lens, because we're never going to buy a ranged damage upgrade. Fresh meat, I'm considering whether I want to ban it or not, and I think I do, even though we are going to buy lifesteal or we'll get some lifesteal from the Blade weapon tag. I don't think that lifesteal is going to be a primary healing strategy for us, so we're going to go ahead and ban the fresh meat. And then since I banned those 2 level 1 items, I will re-roll in case we can lock or ban something else good. We'll lock this coupon, and we'll ban this book. And this, I think, is going to be a very typical strategy for banning weapons for banning items in the first couple shops, is you're just going to use as many bans as possible on any level 1 items that you don't want, which is going to improve the quality of your shops immensely. Also, I noticed the text there that said one-shot. Obviously, we're one-shotting everything already just with our base damage, but getting the one-shot notification is pretty fun. I feel like it should be like red text or something noticeable. Let's roll here, and I'll take just 2 more regeneration. Regeneration is nice to buy early because when you buy regen with a level 1 level up, you get 2 points. And then at higher levels, you get 3, 4, and 5. So the level 1, the higher levels are not twice as good as the level 1. Whereas for most stats, it does double in power each level. So the regeneration level 1 level ups are fairly efficient. I could buy the coupon here before buying the Vorpal sword. I could also save my money to reroll. So if I buy the coupon, that's 78. We'll have enough rerolls, I think, that we'll still be able to lock another Vorpal sword, and we wouldn't be able to buy one. So in this case, I think being able to buy the coupon first is correct. Most of the time, you're just going to buy weapons and you'll save your coupon for shop 3. But in this particular case, because we weren't going to be able to buy another Vorpal sword anyways, and we had enough money to reroll at least 3 times, I think it made sense to buy the coupon first. Got our second weapon, which is great, and a third locked in the shop. We also got some other good items locked in the shop in the form of Leather Vest, which is amazing for the Knight, who of course gets melee damage from buying armor, and Gentle Alien. We will still buy attack speed on this character because the more times we swing, the more times we have a chance of one-shotting. Let's see, do we get our 1%? I was hoping for the 1% chance of one-shotting that loot alien. I'm definitely gonna, or that curse alien, I'm definitely gonna play worse just because I'm hunting for the one-shots here. Luck is the way that you can buy economy on the knight. We don't want to buy melee damage. All our melee damage is just going to come from buying armor. I could take 5% crit chance. This weapon does have a 2x critical multiplier and 3 base crit chance, so a just normal crit for a weapon in this game. On the other hand, this also has a one-shot mechanic, so crit chance is kind of less valuable in that sense. I think I'll just take the luck here. I'm going to buy the Vorpal sword, and then I will lock a bait. The 8% damage is going to be pretty good as well. I'll do one reroll because we're guaranteed to see a weapon in the shop, and there's a good chance that it was going to be a Vorpal sword, which obviously we need to get our weapon set online soon, so rerolling there, even with only one shop slot, is pretty good. We've got a really good set of items locked in the shop. Oh, I do like that. Okay, it has a noise as well. Obviously, as the Vorpal sword, it should be going Snicker Snack. But there isn't a Jabberwock enemy. Okay, so you can one-shot Curse Aliens. That's good to know. I wasn't 100% sure that you could one-shot Curse Aliens or Loot Aliens. Here we will take the Penguin, of course, because we want regen, and then I'm going to reroll. I feel like we can do better. I do need some max HP, so I'll take 6 max HP here, and then I currently have no % damage. We are also a medieval weapons build, so I could take dodge and start building dodge. We have a leather vest locked in the shop, so buying dodge is pretty valuable, but I think I'll just take 8% damage. Make sure that our damage is keeping up. Buy the Vorpal sword here, and then if I buy the Gentle Alien, I can't reroll, but I think that's okay, because the additional enemies will be more money next wave, and I just want to buy the best item here. Also, ideally, we would get a 5th weapon before we fight the Lampreys. I don't think we're in any danger with the bait this wave, but better safe than sorry when you have very few weapons. Go ahead and kill that buffing alien. Take out the tree. I don't know if it can one-shot trees. That's something that I will keep an eye on as well. Presumably, as you level it up, it's going to get better at one-shotting. I don't need to take 4 melee damage. I think I'll just take 5 luck here. Increasing your luck is really good on this character. And then I will buy the leather vest and the bait here. Wisdom, I could use the wisdom. The extra % damage over time is fine, but this character really needs to reroll for weapons and buy weapons, so I think we'll pass on wisdom. It just doesn't do enough at the current moment to make it worth buying. Vorpal sword I will lock, and then I guess I will buy the insanity because extra crit chance is still good for this character. Basically, I don't want to spend a huge amount of money on an item like wisdom when we still desperately need to find weapons. I also got 2 cursed lampreys there, which meant that I took a lot of extra damage, so that was a kind of spooky moment. The ordering that I did there did not work out well because we didn't find another Vorpal sword. So we ended up taking the bait on a higher wave when the enemies were more dangerous, but we hadn't gotten any more weapons. So that ended up being a more difficult opener to that wave than it could have been had I bought the bait in the previous wave. Here, I will take the butterfly. The lifesteal is fine, so we'll pick that up, and then I'm going to grab 8% more damage, and then I need some movement speed, so we'll take 6 movement speed here. We'll buy a Vorpal sword. Even though it is going to only give us 5% attack speed because of the knight's attack speed modifier, attack speed is so important that we're still definitely buying the coffee here. I'm going to ban Terrified Onion. I think this is just a pretty safe ban overall. Once you have some movement speed, you never want to buy this item, so just getting it out of the pool is going to be pretty good. I'll lock this Vorpal sword. I will buy a plant. Scared Sausage I could ban as well. I might not, just in case we find a Will-O-Wisp, which could be pretty fun. I think I'm just going to roll past these two, not because... So, I think you should ban both of them if you're just trying to win here. But I'm also trying to have the funniest run possible, and both of these items could be something that we want later. So, in the interests of just having an amusing time, I will avoid banning them. I'm going to ban the dynamite, though. We're never going to use the explosion damage here. Do I want to lock Mastery? So this character has gotten 7 armor, which means that we are at plus 14 melee damage already, and then we have 4 additional melee damage on top of that. I think I will pass on the Mastery. I don't think we need it in particular. I'm going to re-roll here, in fact, and look for more items. Unfortunately, we rolled into 3 weapons there, which aren't the weapon we're going for, so we're not going to buy them. What I'm really hoping for is we get some one-shots on Elite. That would be the best outcome here. On the Knight in particular, it might actually be good to ban more level 2 items than level 1 items, because that'll make Metal Plate and Leather Vest appear more often. And those are the best items for this character, because armor is easiest to get from level 2 items, the 2 that I just named. So banning level 2 items that you don't want to make those appear more often could be pretty valuable. I do think that in general, though, you're still just going to be best off banning as many level 1 items as you can and just banning as early and as aggressively as possible any items that you don't want. I will take the baby gecko here, and then we'll grab 3 more regeneration. I'll take the Vorpal sword. Now I'm going to lock the wisdom because I think we will buy it, and we have a full weapon set at this point. Medical turret, I will probably never buy, so I'm just going to go ahead and ban that, and then we'll take a reroll, and we'll buy a Lost Duck as well. Community support, I will lock, even though it's a little bit weak on the Knight, because you get half as much attack speed, and losing armor is bad. Attack speed is still just so valuable that even at a terrible ratio, like we'll be getting when we buy the community support, it's still incredibly important for this character and for almost every character. Looking forward to finding another Vorpal sword so I can combine them and we can start seeing what they look like at higher levels. I think there's a curse alien on the left over here. Oh, no. All right. I just saw something out of the corner of my eye that looked like one, but it clearly was not. Here, I'm going to reroll. I could take 9 movement speed or 7 crit chance, but I feel like we can do better here. And I'll take 9% dodge. We've started building dodge. We're up to 21% already, so buying dodge is just really valuable here. We're going to go ahead and buy the propeller hat, and do I want warrior helmet, wisdom, or community support first? I think that the community support is the one that is going to most help in terms of killing enemies at this point, so I will buy it. I'm gonna lock the mushroom here, and we'll just go ahead and ban Sharp Bullet. You could also buy the Sharp Bullet if you thought you might ever want this effect, but we don't need it, and getting another level 1 out of the pool is really good. If we do end up like really needing piercing shots later on, Bandana does exist. If you were going for a long endless mode run, you would not ban an item like Sharp Bullet, because you can buy it and effectively ban it because it's a unique. So when you buy a unique, it's the same as banning that unique. But it pulls it out of the pool, so you're more likely to find other items. I will say, I don't think we've gotten a relevant one-shot yet. I don't think I've one-shot almost anything that I would have actually needed to one-shot while it was at high health. Well, and I'm not going to be able to attack that loot alien because it spawned in an awkward spot. I'll take the baby gecko here, and then here I'm just going to take 3 more regeneration. I'm going to re-roll, and we'll take 2 armor here. Armor is just so good on the knight. You should pretty much always just buy armor, even when it's a lower level upgrade. We'll definitely buy the whistle, and I can just buy this whole shop, and we'll get a free reroll here. We will lock the baby squid, and then we'll do another reroll. Metal we're going to lock, and lemonade we're going to buy. The metal is nice because it's going to fix my movement speed, which I did reduce. So glad to find that. Knight, I think, is still, even though it was nerfed, I guess, almost a year ago now when Abyssal Terrors launched, I think it's still the easiest character to get your first Danger 5 win with. And honestly, Vorpal Sword is probably the way to do it now. I used to suggest just buy swords on the knight, just play knight with swords. But Vorpal Sword, I think, is probably going to be a little better, because even if you're struggling to kill elites, sometimes it'll just one-shot the elite, and it attacks a little faster at base, so the attack speed penalty is less severe than the basic sword. Also, a combination of the two weapons is totally fine as well. Okay, nice. We did get that loot alien kill. I'm gonna recycle the landmines here. I could ban it, but it would cost me 5 materials, because we would get 4 if we banned the landmines. We get 9 if we recycle it. And I think I'd rather just save my ban and save 5 materials there. I will take 12% damage. Okay, nice. So we now get to see what a level 3 Vorpal Sword looks like. So as 35 base damage, the attack speed goes up a fair amount, and it has a 2% chance to one-shot the target when hitting it, which is pretty powerful. I think the baby squid and the metal as well. Wheat, I think we'll pass on. And I'm going to save my ban there as well. I will lock this Vorpal Sword. Do I want the Cyclops Worm or the tree for this next wave? I think I'll take the Cyclops Worm. The 12% damage is going to make it much more likely that I just kill the elite. Assuming, I am, again, not certain if you can one-shot an elite at all. And you should still plan around having to kill it with actual damage, even if you can one-shot it. It's starting to look like we can't, though, because we've attacked it a lot and not gotten a proc on it. One-shotting a bunch of other stuff, though. But the nice thing about this weapon is that even without the one-shot mechanic, it does still just kill enemies. It's just a powerful weapon overall. I also like the graphic for it. I think it looks really cool. Yeah, we'll take another coffee. We still want more attack speed. Okay. So I have not gotten to take this item yet. So we're going to start the next wave with 1 HP, but it's going to decrease the wave number. That's really cool. So we're going to take the hourglass here. All right. So it still says wave 11 at the top. I assume that'll happen during the shop. I'm not sure how it'll actually work here. Let's reroll, and I'll take 6% dodge. And so now we're in the wave 11 shop, and then we hit go, and we go to wave 11. One thing I'm not certain of is, will we get another elite this next wave? Or are the elites not tied to the wave number, but tied to just when they're going to show up? Here, I'm going to buy the level 3 Vorpal Sword and go to level 4. Normally, you would combine the level 2 weapons and just have a bunch of level 3s, but I'm curious what the level 4 stats look like, so just reminding myself what the level 3s look like with 84 damage and 0.94 here. When we go up to level 4, it's 111 damage, 0.86, and a 3% chance to one-shot the target. Okay, that's pretty cool. I'll take the tree and the tentacle, and then we will lock another Vorpal Sword as well. All right, so, okay, so there is an elite. It doesn't show up in the menu there because we reset the wave number, but that's pretty cool. So not only did we manage to get to, we're going to get an extra wave before wave 20 to farm up, We also are going to get an extra, potentially guaranteed level 4 item. Okay, we did just one-shot the elite. That's cool. So Vorpal Sword can one-shot the elite, and we were able to do that and just pop it immediately, which is amazing. So yeah, so this weapon is really good against elites if you get enough attack speed on it. Obviously, there's a chance of getting unlucky, but when you're hitting it 6 times, let's say every second, with a 1% chance of each of those going off, that's gonna happen pretty reliably within the first 30 seconds of the wave, so it's pretty powerful there. We're very happy to grab a Kraken's Eye, a guaranteed level 4 item, and also HP is something that we're missing, so we're going to take that, and then we'll take our Broken Mouth here. I now don't need the 9 max HP, but I will take 15 more luck, I think. We'll buy a Vorpal Sword. Statue is a great ban, because this item is terrible, and you're never going to buy it. And I think I will ban a level 3 item here. I think that's fine. Wandering Bot, we will roll past, though. Just because we aren't banning something doesn't mean we have to specifically buy it. I'm going to take the Black Flag here, because getting this early is going to be really good. We'll lock the Vorpal Sword and keep upgrading that. And I will lock these other 2 items. Although Campfire is an inefficient way to buy regen, we do just need as much regeneration as we can get. The ability to just one-tap elites randomly is pretty... just very cool, honestly. It looks really powerful, but honestly, I don't think it's particularly broken. Because it takes a lot of tries and it's a melee weapon, if you weren't set up to be able to fight the elite anyways, I don't think that Vorpal Sword changes that. It just gives you a really good moment when sometimes you're just going to obliterate an elite in one hit and then just get to farm the rest of the wave in peace. And because this is not a super fast attacking weapon and it's pretty high damage, you're very likely to be able to fight an elite if you're using this weapon anyways. So I don't think that being able to one-shot an elite is broken or anything. Maybe I'll change my mind after I've played with the weapon a little more. We'll take the Blood Leech here. We do want, again, more regeneration. We'll take a Weird Food. We'll take a Lucky Charm. Here, I think I will just take 7 crit chance. Increasing our damage output is going to be really good. And then we'll buy all these items that we locked. We'll reroll. Okay, we got a Fruit Basket as well. This is another item that I want to try out more. So currently, it gives us -3 regen, which is a real penalty. Also, we're 1 short of rerolling. Okay, cool. So they have fixed the sort. There is now a reverse order button. It can show you the items in the order in which you got them, which is much more useful with the newest items first. I will say I liked having the character at the top, so I would like that pinned to the top regardless of what sort order you're doing, if I was designing this. I am glad they fixed that, though. That was a very bizarre choice. It should also be newest to oldest by default, not oldest to newest by default, but at least now that I know that it's there, we can fix our sort manually. I will say, I am liking the sound effect for one-shotting enemies. I don't know how clear it is in the recording, because I have the in-game sounds turned down fairly low, but it's a kind of clang. Black Flag is giving us some good money here. Incendiary Turret I'm going to take just in case we get Will-O-Wisp, because I think it would be fun to build a bunch of elemental damage, and then we'll take 5% attack speed. When our attack speed is this low, it's still pretty good to grab that. Here we're going to upgrade our Vorpal Sword, and we'll buy a Starfish. Although the harvesting is completely wasted, or almost completely wasted on this character, the extra money from killing enemies is massive. Very happy to get a bag, which I'll buy over the metal plate. Gummy Berserker, I think, is probably going to be the single most banned item in the game, because it's a level 1 item and almost no characters want it. Do I want the jelly? We've got 55 HP, so I think we're okay to pass on the jelly. Gummy Berserker, more balanced thoughts since, you know, there's new developers and they might be making balance changes. The easy way to fix Gummy Berserker is just remove the -1 armor. It would be a totally fine item. It would not even be too powerful. There would be plenty of characters that still wouldn't buy it, but with -1 armor, it's almost unusable. And without -1 armor, it's a totally reasonable item. The fact that we have the starfish is making, and the black flag, so we have lots of curse, is making things a little more dangerous for us this wave, but we have enough healing that we can just run into the middle of groups of enemies and kind of rely on consumable healing to keep us alive. Mutation, we're going to recycle. We don't need any of these stats. I'll take the Lost Duck. Weird Ghost at this point. We're going into wave 15. There's no particular danger. I guess I'll take the Weird Ghost here. We've got 20 regeneration. Here I'll take 4 more regeneration as well. And then I guess we're buying all of these items, and then we'll do a reroll. A Warrior Helmet is great, although I do need to fix my movement speed now, and I will also buy Vorpal Sword and Coffee. Plastic Explosive, we actually do have some explosion effects. The Kraken's Eye, but we're not building around the explosion from those. Oh, okay, so the Hourglass turns into Broken Hourglass, which means that even though this is a unique item, you can probably still find it more than once, and you will be able to, like, accidentally take the penalty on the Curious and stuff like that. So, kind of interesting that they've gone with it turning into a different item. I'll take the Jerky here for sure, and we'll buy the Insanity as well to increase our crit chance. Then on to the next wave. I don't think we need charcoal or sunglasses, and I need to remember that although I have 23 regeneration, we are on a Weird Ghost wave here. So we'll play slightly away from the enemies for the first part of the wave until I've managed to heal back up just a little bit. The ability to one-shot some of these more dangerous cursed enemies sometimes too is pretty nice. It's not reliable, but it does just mean you're going to be killing enemies faster and taking a little less damage overall. I really want to try the new, the Candy Basket, I think it's called. Something like that anyways. The one that gives you random stats every wave, and every wave it makes elites show up more often. Now that we have Jerky, so our consumable healing is done over time, and it's really high, we're just in great shape for surviving each wave. Yeah, we'll take the duct tape, of course. We'll take a weird food. Here, I'm going to reroll. I could take 8% damage. Actually, my percent damage is terrible. I am just going to take 8% damage. And then we'll definitely take a Cursed Spyglass. The savings on reroll price, even in the last couple waves, will be really good here. And then we'll buy a Vorpal Sword. Oh, does it not save your sort order in between waves? It should definitely do that as well. I will say I have some issues with how they've implemented the sorting, even though I think it's overall a great idea. We will potentially actually get our attacks to be faster than the ball and chain minimum, so I am going to pass on the ball and chain here. Have the perfect amount of HP. I can't remember. I think I left it on sort from newest to oldest last wave. But I'll try to make sure to leave it on the newest to oldest sort so we can check whether it's remembering your sort from wave to wave. This is a great wave for the Vorpal Sword. We're just getting to one-shot a bunch of these really tough enemies. The mini-bosses and the stargazers and towers and so on. So that's really nice. We'll take a coupon here, and then I think I do still want a little more regeneration. I'll just take 4 more. Okay, so here I'm gonna do sorted by obtaining, and this is newest to oldest, so we're gonna leave it at that, and we'll see what it's on in the next wave. I'll buy the wings here and combine, buy the Vorpal sword and reroll, lock Vorpal sword, and we'll buy tentacle, and then I'll do 1 more reroll, lock a Vorpal sword, lock a leather vest. This character still doesn't want to buy sunglasses because we would lose melee damage for it, so even though crit chance is pretty good for us, you don't want to lose armor when you're playing the knight. One thing I'm not sure of is, does the one-shot count as a critical hit for Tentacle and Hunting Trophy? Does it count as like a separate, different attack? Does it roll the critical hit and then roll whether it's one-shotting or not? So maybe the one-shot works for Tentacle, maybe it doesn't, depending on whether the attack would have crit without the one-shot roll. I am curious how that works under the hood. Because it is possible that the one-shots will end up being a disadvantage if you're getting too much of them, if you have, like, a bunch of hunting trophies. Here, I will still take the Cursed Scar. We'll take Mastery when it shows up in a box like this, even though the melee damage isn't that important. Bowler Hat, I will grab as well. 15 luck is still good. And then Little Muscly Dude will also take. And Injection, yep, we'll grab that also. Here I'm just going to take 10 luck, and then we will pick up some Vorpal swords and a leather vest. The Cursed Gnome, I actually wasn't going to pick this up, but I guess I should, so maybe I should have bought it this wave so we would have the cursed item right away. Bean Teacher, it's a little bit late to buy, but let's pick up a Blood Leech just to increase our regeneration before we go into this elite fight. I'll do 1 more reroll here. We'll lock a Silver Bullet. Gambling Token, this is an item it might be worth spending armor on, but I think I still just want to keep my armor as high as possible. Alright. Just get it in one hit. Come on. There we go. That's very satisfying. And with a 3% chance on each weapon, it's got to be pretty reliable. Also, of course, you presumably get a higher chance when you curse a Vorpal sword. The good sound design on this item is also a very important component of it. Okay, I will lose 1 armor for the Cursed Lucky Coin. That's just so many stats, and then we'll take 4 armor here. We'll buy the Gnome and the Silver Bullet. Not that I really need the Silver Bullet, because we're just going to one-shot the bosses anyways, I guess. Alien Worm, although I have really high consumable healing, and it's a big component of our healing, more regen is still good. I'll buy the Cursed Jelly. Well, we'll take the plant. I'll take the Cursed Jelly as well. And then I'm not going to buy the Weird Ghost because that would be a good way to just throw the run. Which admittedly would be very funny. So presumably, if you can find multiple hourglasses, you can ban a bunch of level 4 items, and then force hourglasses over and over again. And if Cursed Hourglass sends you back multiple waves, then you could even decrease your wave number. And that could let you do some pretty nonsense stuff, like use Piggy Bank forever, use Harvesting forever, because that's all tied to the wave number. So you could grow your Harvesting indefinitely, you could use Piggy Bank forever, So that's probably a really abusive endless mode strategy. Honestly, personally, I don't really care about that. If people want to spend their time rolling for hourglasses until they can go endless mode forever, then more power to them. I personally won't be doing that because it sounds very time consuming. But if people are enjoying doing that, then I'm happy for them. Here we've got... Oh, nice. Okay, let's check the one-shot count on our weapons as well. 27, 41 on this one. 25, 14 on this underperformer. Only 8. And then 0 on this one, which we just picked up. But let's go and see if we can fight the bosses. Oh, yeah. Also, I am noticing that the sort is still not correctly maintaining. And there's no... Yeah, sort by rarity, also showing the least rare. And there is no way to get the old sort back, which honestly I'm used to, so I would personally just use it, where it shows your character at the top and then items from most recent from newest to oldest, which is what I would prefer, but... Alright, there's 2 bosses, so let's see if we can go 1-2, 1-2, and through. Got that first one shot, and come on. Is this one actually going to die to damage? Embarrassing for my Vorpal swords here. Seriously? Wow, alright, well... Oh, okay, I do like the ending graphic there. That's really funny. So that's pretty amusing, honestly, the ending graphic. It's also really funny that our Vorpal swords did not one-shot the boss, even though we hit him so many times with so many 3% chances. Let's take a look at our items here. So we've got... coupons saved us 500. Not that impressive, but with the knight, you're usually a slightly lower economy run because you can't effectively use harvesting. You just make up for it by getting millions of free stats from the conversion of armor to melee damage. Gentle Alien, of course, was good. We found 2 leather vests, which is great. Ended up with 55 dodge. Community support was a pretty solid item. I'm happy with that. 11 regen from the baby squid. 123 healing from tentacles, which is really good. The broken hourglass was great. It got us a whole second level 4 item. Now, it came out of a box, so we more or less just got the Kraken's Eye, but we basically got to farm an extra 500 materials, or however many we got that wave, for free, just because we bought the broken hourglass. Kraken's Eye dealt 21k damage, 747 materials on the black flag, so we're, flying through the air here. 59 fruit dropped on the fruit basket. Pretty good overall. That's, I think, definitely worth it. 9.5 on the incendiary turret. 240 on bag, so bag, of course, performing excellently, even though we got it late, as always. Spyglass saved us 66, so it did not do great, but it's a cursed Spyglass. It gave us range and curse, so it was still worth having. And then anything else? Nothing else overall, but mostly we've got the one-shots. Vorpal Sword, I think, is just a pretty strong weapon overall, mostly because the stats on it are really good. It's just a very solid weapon, with good tags as well, giving you base melee damage, so it improves itself, and then armor and dodge are always welcome stats to have. And the one-shot mechanic does make elite fights a little easier when it goes off. So really fun weapon, I think just a really nice addition that is also pretty cool when you get it to work, so I'm glad that they added it. And I don't think it seems particularly unbalanced or anything. As always, my friends, hope that you've enjoyed this run, and of course, if you have, feel free to leave a comment and hit like. Helps me out with the algorithm, so I appreciate you taking the time to do that. And of course, you can subscribe to my channel for more Brotato and other strategy game analysis. Cheers, my friends. I'll catch you next time.